Alright, here's another one in the series of Fuel Boss videos. This one is going to take us into the system menu in the setup. So we're going to go into the setup by pressing the 0 key a bunch of times. Again, I can have a password on that. I just don't have it turned on right now. So if I scroll down using the 4 key, 1 is up, 4 is down, go to the system option, and the first option under that is the mode. Currently this is set to master. There's a master slave capability, so if you have to go beyond 8 products on the Fuel Boss, which is the limit of this board, you can do a slave head and get another 8 products. Master and standalone are the same, so this being just a 2-product system, it's in master. Unit, that's if we're going to be overseas with metric, we can switch it to liters, but US gallons is what we're doing right now. Date and time are pretty obvious. We'll just change the time just to show you that. 10:37 looks like the correct time, but let's say I wanted to tell it it's 11:37. So that's changing the time. Set up password. This is the password I mentioned earlier. I could define a password. Schedule is a security feature that can be turned on if, let's say for instance, this card reader is being used at a facility that closes at 5 p.m. and doesn't open until 8, and there's no reason anyone should be authorizing fuel between those hours. We can turn on the schedule and get some added security. So we will enable the schedule, yes, and then say the day begins at 8 and ends at 5. Let's just change that. Let's say we don't start till 9 o'clock. So now the schedule is turned on, and what will happen is when it gets to be the end of the day, the screen will go black, and if a user comes up and presses a key, it will wake up and say site is closed, and then it'll also say what time it will reopen. So that's how that works. Brightness is at 100%. That's just screen brightness. You can see it turning down. We usually just run it all at 100%. Input timeout. If I come up and I'm going to authorize fuel, and I start punching my number in, and then I decide I got to go do something else or get a phone call or whatever, 120 seconds is what it's set to right now for timeout. I'm going to drop that down to let's say 20 seconds. Screensaver, similar deal. If nothing's happening, it will dim the screen until somebody touches the keypad, and that's currently set to 300 seconds. I'm going to drop that down to 120. Authenticate using keypad. So if this had another option such as a card reader, you would be able to change it there. Service menu is where we can do a software update. If we send you some new software, this is how you would apply it. Pulsar debounce is where you can configure the debounce times on your pulse inputs. You really probably don't need to mess with that unless you are having some trouble counting your pulsars correctly. Export configuration is a way to back up all of your settings in here. Import is the opposite of that, and reboot system is a way to force a reboot. So that's all of the features in the system setup. So we'll see you on the next video.